Ah, ah, what the hell?
Okay, so there's no problem.
Yes, John Oremu. John Oremu. Can you hear me, John?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Can get you now.
You can get me, huh?
Hey, Kora Winji.
So. So just hang in there. Let me alert people that we have gone live so that we can start. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Jororemo, are you seeing me clearly?
Kora nini?
Ina na malayar, because ane mudle, kini ane korgwen. Huh?
Aneni?
Ina na. So, do we give
Yes,
a few
Aneni.
minutes? Huh? Let's give a few
Yes,
minutes
sir.
to
Give a few minutes.
allow, yeah, to allow more people to come in. Huh?
Okay.
Okay.
Sawa. Tutoe background. Toa background.
Mm. No, 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 no. So let's get at least 10 people, then we can start. Is that fine? John Oremo, can you hear me?
Hello, awinji maber.
Warit gimoro dakika par. I mean, mondo jomoko donje at least gimoko par kama kato waginen. Kato wachaki.
Okay, tabu.
Though even if we don't wait, they'll still find it here. They'll still find it here. It's just that now they might not have the opportunity to ask questions.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm seeing there are already 4 people. Or maybe we give another, maybe, yeah, let's see, at least 10. Yeah, there are 7 people. Let's see, by 10, then we can start.
Okay.
Otherwise, how has your day been?
It was good.
How is Mombasa?
Mombasa is Joto. The
Joto
temperature is
mingi.
now running at 34. The temperature is at
At
34.
what? Even here, even here is very hot.
Yeah.
Even here is very hot. Very, very hot. I'm here in Oluwalo. It is very hot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your network seems to be poor.
Sorry?
Your network seems to be poor.
Oh, my network is poor.
Yeah, katika.
Oh, I'm in the middle of huku. Should I move position?
Yeah, just try to locate good position.
Okay, just hang on in there as I try to locate.
Okay.
You can move it? Yeah, I have to move somewhere. Hapo.
I hope by now I'm alive. Huh? I can't disappear.
What I need to do is just put this chair here.
This other side. Huh? This side.
And then put the lights. Okay.
Guys are waiting for you.
I think that's fine. That's fine. So, kala ikamba.
Yes.
Good. I'm good. Can you hear me? Yeah?
I can hear you now.
You can hear me, yeah?
Yes, yes.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah, I think is my network better?
Very good, very good.
The network is good, eh?
Very good.
We go. So I think we have people online who have joined. So let's just go on and start. So welcome and welcome everyone else who is already online. Our discussion today is about our 7-point agenda for Kojunga, and our guest is Engineer John Remo, who will take us through his understanding of how he sees this 7-point agenda, how it is going to help our community. So without taking too much time, Engineer John, let me welcome you to just start. And yes, you're welcome.
Because we know all the way it started until where we are today. Now, I will only cover the 7 agendas, which of course Giacomo came up with, which of course is covering the real issues why the Great Kojunga was formed. Just to go through the very first before we now pick on each and every item. One of them was a question, or one of them in registration of Great Kojunga to have some legal backing to be like it should be something that is recognized by the government. As it's now, before it is registered, nobody knows about Kojunga. It's just a briefcase kind of an organization for everybody. That was one of the agenda, which is very important. We'll come and discuss that. Then the second agenda, which was called, was the unity of our people, where we have to consider ourselves kaka joka ng'ato, brothers, evil. So that was the second agenda. Then the third agenda was about members registration. That was cause Gioknyal operate Mok Jomaga Manigi, Jomania Yoko. That was agenda 3. And then agenda 4 was capturing Wichimag P, the water system. Of course, this is one of the challenges that we are facing year in, year out. That was agenda 4. Then agenda 5 is about the employment, business opportunities. Of course, give all of us that was agenda 5. Then agenda 6 is about education, at all levels. That one will come to that. Then the last but most pressing one was the expansion of Olwalo Secondary School. Those are the 7 agendas, of course, that the current office holders wanted to pursue. So I think I've summarized the 7 of them as they are. Other agendas probably come later, but for now, we'll only be talking about the remaining, the 7, which is before us, as was stated earlier by the current office holder and probably mostly the chairman himself. So I think I've reminded everybody about the 7 agendas which are now set of discussion today. I believe that unless the chairman nyalo paro na moro mawiye poko win godo.
No, I think that's it. I think that's it. So
Chairman,
what yes?
Can you agenda moro upogore the 7 of them? Lakini I've only talked about the 7 that I know, and that's what we want to discuss point by point. Unless in the bottom of the book of you will go to the Baronet paying Mondokoro and Bendi, capture that one.
No, those are the 7 ones. I could just run through them very quickly. The first one was to ensure that everything is properly registered. The second one was to ensure that there's a good alignment towards our mission. And then the third one was what was the third one again? I know the fourth one. Okay, we just go through them again. Let me not confuse you. Let me not confuse you, John.
Koro. Okay. Now, to make clarity, agenda 1 was registration of Great Kojunga as a legal entity.
Correct.
Most organizations in Chaka, until you do the proper registration with the government, it still remains nothing. It's only recognized by the government once it's registered as a cooperative, as a CBO, as a self-help group, where documentation is probably done. Organization recognize anything in their government's office. So this is something that is time that we have to do, pursue, of course, is the right agenda. Any money from the government until that time you guys have registered and you're recognized so that it becomes a legal entity. So of course, Jokojunga have to understand that various ways in which Great Kojunga can be registered. It can be registered as a CBO. There will be as a self-help group. It can be a welfare. But now we have to go now in our situation. What is it that faces up for us? Is it the CBO alone? Is it as a self-help group alone, women group alone, or which one? So it will be up to Jokojunga to discuss and come in agreement which kind of the organizations and how they want the registration done. Gidwa nigi register as a CBO alone, koso. Gidwa nigi register as a self-help group, koso. Gidwa nigi register as a welfare. Mano generally that we have to agree. In my honest opinion, it will be right for us to register them, 3 or 4 of them, differently because they are going to pursue different things. Let me tell you, some money from the government for the youth. How do you cannot have it as as Jokojunga welfare, and then tomorrow you want to work within the bank, you want the money. So you still find it will be right for us to have distinct registration for different purposes because they are to serve different purposes. So there's no way you're going to have a welfare, Kojunga welfare, which is of course dealing with the funerals, and that's the same one you want to use to borrow the money from the government to do business with it. It will be a challenge. So I would advise the current office to have a very comprehensive discussion with the members, and then we agree which ones do we register because they're going to perform different functions. Though management will be still centralized, but registration, we have to separate them. Like now, the Hazla Fund, right now, these guys are really, they have got money to give, but they cannot give Jokojunga until the Jokojunga registered. Of course, the money will be there, the money is there, being told money is there, but you cannot walk in any office today and be given the money unless you register. So this is something that the office have to fast track and do it as fast as possible so that we don't lag behind. Otherwise, we'll be now talking here every year. So there must be time frame for doing all this registration, have a discussion with Jokojunga, agree which one do we register and which one do we not register. Look for the better way of handling this registration. Of course, we have got probably the money there to do the registration. Much of them, they don't cost a lot of money. That's one thing that I believe on. Unless ni Jokojunga kudwa ngibedi jo mungere Kenya ka ko kudwa ngeri to register kudwa ngeru to nyaka register. One.
So in terms of
that is
now on that, Engineer John, is that we already agreed inside the constitution that we are going to register as a CBO, and that process is that we have already presented all documentation for the same at the Social Development Office in Paponditi. The only problem is that they do not have the certificates at the moment. Otherwise, we would have our certificate by now. This was because a new law was signed by President Uhuru just before he left office, and that law now is being implemented. So it has delayed the production of new certificates. So we have presented everything, including the money for the fee that we need to pay. We are supposed to pay 5,000 shillings. So all that is ready, and with the Social Development Office, we are only waiting for them to be ready with the certificates. Then we'll be good to go. So at least as a CBO, we have put everything in place. So unless you're suggesting that we also register separately as a self-help group or any other thing, the constitution clarified that we were supposed to register as a CBO. So that one is already in place.
I agree with you. You are registered as a CBO, but the big question is this: does it capture everybody's interest? Just because you, as a CBO, here is a scenario whereby you want to attract different sources of money. Just because, if you look at the youth development fund, specifically they did with self-help group. Then when you go to the women, it's also very clear on what happens. But you see, as a CBO, where there's everybody there, and you are not specific about the women, then you find you cannot benefit from the women's fund. If you as it remains a CBO where we are got people are above the youth age, then it means that you cannot benefit. So it's a question of widening your net. Like, how about the youth group, Majo Kojunga youth self-help group? There's no harm done. Register all the youth group, they are still under Kojunga. This is one way of now raising the money to keep our people. Of course, there's a lot of the angels with the money. For all women, they need to have organization that is capturing women. then the CBO is general. So that's why you find, I'm of the opinion, can we now distinct them because they're going to serve different purposes at any given time? If I want looking for the youth fund or I want the youth to be funded, I cannot go and negotiate the CBO. So that's why I'm of the opinion, let's agree that so we have registered the CBO, but again, there's no harm in registering the youth self-help group Majokojunga, the women's self-help group Jokojunga, so that should there be anything that is monetary, you know which documents to use where. But you cannot today walk in the CBO of Great Kojunga and be given youth fund. Nobody's going to give you. Today you cannot use the CBO and get the women fund. Nobody's going to give you. So we have agreed. There's a bigger one with the CBO, but then let us be very specific about the youth and then women, all under Kojunga. There's no harm.
Okay. Okay, fine. I think yeah, I think that's clarified. We'll review how many different ways we should register. I think that's a good point. Maybe we move to the next one now.
The next one is agenda, which of course is at the center that currently all of us are able to realize what a challenge is going on. What is a challenge? And this is my opinion. One key my almost have been under use, though some of them are like now getting like they can't work better anyway. Kaka you what's up is almost no consultations at the Tindopong, Kidi Damulualo, dam is normal, Kidi Kandiege, it cannot serve the population accordingly. So but not the mobile major world vision of Bidomoku big area of Jimolualo. I can assure everybody, NIP, is able to is enough to serve the entire Jimodolo without trouble. But these are things that we need to change. The management and distribution of this water. This is what we need to deal with. That water is enough and sufficient to supply the entire Jimodolo, and everybody will be having water every day without trouble. This is my take, how you can go about it. Pimako going alone, as so far, according to the information that I have, there's no dispute about its use. Even ownership of the land, there's no dispute about it. So it's something that we'd rather start with what we have where there's no dispute. We need to assess, is the pump working right? Is the solar system working right? Once you've fixed the two, now let's get down to the distribution. The first big mistake that happened, of course, sorry to tell everybody, was to have the water in every home. That was a big mistake. And that's why it did not work. And even today, you go back again and distribute water in every home, it's still not going to work. So I believe in doing things first and right. The first and right of doing this water, fix the pump, fix the solar. Once you fix the solar, distribute water using a single line. There are already some water kiosks. If you look at from Kogointi, there's another, the first kiosk is at Kolembo, Kajapojolembo. That's the first kiosk, water kiosk. So what you do, this kind of pipe, only HDP pipes, the one Mongegi joints. Get that kind of a pipe, which of course will only be having two or three points of connection. If you use the ordinary pipes that we have, this is always subject to a lot of leakages. The maintenance cost is so high. So Jokojunga, it's time you all realize that we need one single line of water, which of course we can only access at the distinct specific water kiosk. Ki connected kia Kogon to Biro Nyaka Biro Kajapojolembo. That is the first distribution. For anybody else who wants water will access the water at that kiosk point. Then the next kiosk, we can now agree, Karaki Kedebut, Kachoto, or wherever. That is the second kiosk, water kiosk. Then there's one which goes all the way up to Kawili. So we are only going to have a maximum of 3 also kiosks, whereby if I want 3 jerrycans, I will only move to Kolembo, get my 3 jerrycans and pay instantly the 3 jerrycans I'm going to use. But as long as we don't organize that, once new course organize distribute we still really set up the issue. That is wastage. Then there's another person man being the pipe madidala no go kunyum bed pure pipe busting. So you can see this kind of problem. So we have to deal with the distribution as it is. Let us agree, have the right pipes in place, have the distinct points MIKP, everybody. Kadakadoro Peter de Manaco level, Itikacha Chataka, Picador Jericas Perario. I will only pay for 20 jerrycans that I'm going to consume that day. But there will be no wastage. Can you imagine 100 people, everybody is wasting 3 jerrycans every day? You find that you're wasting water. But if you get it from one distinct point, you are reducing the wastages, you are going to improve the element of accountability. Remember, there's always contention up to date about your manager pesa. Nature kokene jomoko chulo miareo, jomoko chulo miadek, jomoko kochulo. And everybody has got this mentality, everybody. So let us consume what we can pay for. If I can pay for 20 jerrycans, I will only pay for 20 jerrycans. At the end of the day, there must be clear accountability. If for the management of this water, you can decide to employ one person who manages it, or you guys, we have to find a way of managing this water, but let us forget about distributing in every home. It's not going to work. Even if you try 100 times, and that's why even when you're in town, you find even in places like Nairobi, the fact that water is distributed in every estate, that's why you will find we are losing a lot of water. So let us minimize the wastages, let us get a streamlined management of this water, and we'll never be having an issue. A Kondiala, I cannot talk much about it until certain things are agreed on about the ownership of the place. If Kondiala changed his mind about it, let it be very clear to us. Nipi manager one division no chiwo. There was some politics and forget about it. After all, we have done without it. There's no way we're going to talk about one water for 5 straight years about the pump east, west, south. Jomanya lo choko 1 billion, ni pump marshalling beach. They cannot, unless this is a school of foods. Let's forget about it. If Odiela has changed his mind about the water, let's forget about it. Let us deal with the water, which there is no issue. And everybody, including himself, will give him. But let us not spoil, let us not waste a lot of time discussing about water east, west, south. No. That is my take as far as the water is concerned. Though we are going to have long-term, there should be long-term programs like Uluwalo Dam. Reviving it is very important for us. Otherwise, if Uluwalo Dam is not revived, even the pieces of land around that place will not go. Majadi Bedabeda, another portion of Uluwalo. So that two things which is very critical. We have to save Uluwalo Dam. As we are saving the Uluwalo Dam, we are also saving the pieces of land around that place. Otherwise, Obruchalo Mondo. So this is a long-term thing. Of course, this requires some resources. Of course, the office must find a way of now engaging the government on how to revive Uluwalo Dam. These are the small, of course, to still find a way of reviving them so that they also be able to be used for dog. That is my take as far as the issue of the water is concerned.
Okay, I think with regard to the other nini, Ginenemar Makondiala, apani approach mane pokwa miye maber, o kapani o tamore, apani benodwaro ni mondo kaji biro to biro in a more structured way. Koro sanika koro one organized and we are structured. I think it will be a lot easier to engage. We haven't started yet, but I am positive that it will be a lot easier because he's even already a member, which is a good indication that is willing to be part of this. He's already a registered member, which is a good start. Yeah, I think that's fine on that. Yeah, I think that's okay.
Of course, I believe that one to you.
Yeah, but in terms on the technical aspect, okay, on the technical aspects of it, then we will probably need more input from professionals like yourselves who are technical in terms of how best to go about it. I think that one will take it offline and see how best to go about it. So I think that one is also clear. Then it means we are together on that agenda of water. So we can move to the next one.
Majority of our people have not understood the reason why you want, and all of us want Uluwalo Secondary School to be expanded, also to look for a better population. This is the reason why there always been push and pull is lack of information, why the need for a bigger population of Olwalo Secondary School. I'll take everybody through the steps, why and how the current population of Olwalo Secondary School is affecting the performance. Currently, Olwalo Secondary School has got only 40 students. From 2, maybe 5, from 3 has got around 17, from 4 around 18. So if you look at it, you find we have got 40. Now, the maximum amount of the money government is giving per student, which of course is called the capitation money, is 22,400. As it stands, with a small population, Olwalo Secondary School cannot get more than even 1 million shilling. This is the same money which is being used for buying the books. This is the same money being used for paying the workers. This is the same money. Remember, ni Olwalo ka edibeti wargijo mondiki. One ki secretary ma school ondiko, one ki watchman ma jo school ondiko, and also have the cooks. You have got a number of people ma school ondiko. These guys have to be paid from the same pool of the money. Now, when you do your math, you find that Olwalo, the way it operates now, it cannot afford even a BOG teacher. This is why you find that all of us need to give the current executive office the support they need to expand Olwalo. When we expand Olwalo Secondary School, this is what will happen. Even if you have got 100 students, what will happen in Olwalo will be having now something like 2.2 billion coming from the government. From here, one is that money which is to be used for the development. You will set aside, even if it's going to be 500,000, because out of 100 students, there's 5,000 per student. Of course, out of 100 students, we'll be having like 500,000. That is for development. Set aside. If you look at even setting up, even paying the BOG teachers, it will be possible because now you have got extra coin that you can now pay the teachers. All of us must understand, if today you are to walk in there with a BOG teacher, you must be very clear where the money is going to come from. There are two areas, which of course, when you tell the parent who already has a student there, like me who has got 2, you tell me now you made a fees. It will be difficult for me because now, serikali ungisani chulo alfu chiko by the end of the year or alfu pa. Kori biro kai ribe then kejuan give BOG chairman. It means the BOG teachers. Koro usini koro instead of 9, I'll be now paying around 20 for it to sustain that program. Of course, that will be another extra burden. So when you arambe waduto, more understand the reason why it's very important for us to have Olwalo Secondary School to have a bigger population. There's a very, very good reason. Immediately we are having a bigger population, like even 100, we'll be having more money coming to the school for the development of their classes, chulo the BOG teachers, and even improving even the library, and even getting the things in the laboratory. As of now, the school is very much disadvantaged. I think in the next meeting, it will be very good of you to organize for the BOG chairman to explain further Nejoko Junga the reason why there's need for us made this school Olwalo. And I think I've led by example by taking 2 also students there. I'm also adding another one because I understand. Jomangeny oknya understand. This thing as it comes, nobody has ever explained to our people into details why we need to add students. And most of the time people talk because our approach always is emotional. We don't take time to understand because the information is lacking. So the executive office must now work very hard on availing certain information before anything happens. Because Olwalo, there's a lot of distortion of information regarding why we want school to expand. So it's you, together with the BOG chairman, find it right to explain further to Joko Junga why we need more students and the good things which will come out of a bigger population. Joko understand, population of Remangen, what next? So this is why I urge you, plus the BOG chairman, wherever he is, that you guys find a forum, explain to Joko Junga into details why we need a bigger population near school, Olwalo Secondary School. This politics of about who takes the school child where and what have you, please, Jowanya can understand. There's a lot of dynamics. Right now, Nyithindo junior secondary school, which we, even when the rural secondary school was being formed, we never knew there would be such kind of dynamics. Right now, this issue of the junior secondary school has come at a time when ourselves we already have a school. Can you imagine a situation whereby we did not even have a secondary school? Where would we be taking Nyithindo Majokola Sauchian? Would we be taking them to would we be taking them to Nyabola, or taking them to Rakwal? So you find that those kind of things sometimes people do, and the later they come and help without us knowing. So we let us not kill Olwalo Secondary School, let us build Olwalo Secondary School, but go a step further and explain into details why we need to do it better. Yatima no Sumulol School, the future knows. Let us not be serious, sorry, no. It might later it might be a better school, the best school ever. And we might just ask ourselves, why did we not start earlier? So let us build a school with a positive mind. Once we are built with a positive mind, all that we want, all that we desire, all the schools started at a certain point. So let us not fight the school we already have. Let us bring everything that will build it. Anything that you know is going to destroy Rwanda Secondary School, please, let's keep it away because it's not needed. It's not going to help whoever says it. It's not going to help anybody. So Jokojunga, Nyaka, Wakel Nyithindo, Rwanda Secondary School. Me, I've led by example. I already have 2, and I'm adding the 3rd one. Details kaka gedi bedo bele kanyero jopuny wasate mokorwa koro jopuny biro timo ang'o otim makorgi. So that is as far as the expansion of Lawrence Secondary School is concerned. That is the 3rd agenda that I've talked about.
Okay. So I think the other 2 that you may need to touch on was a bit about cohesion, as Margueng. I think that is agenda 3 or 2. Yeah, the bit about cohesion and pulling together, and the philosophy behind Gimanomi or Biro together. I think did you touch on that?
Okay. Now on agenda 4, this is agenda 4 is about the members registration. My take has always been that why can the agenda 4 is about members registration. My take is always like this: registration of members can be progressive. It doesn't have to be like it is now, whereby you want somebody to walk in and register. Because there are those who don't know the existence of Greater Kojunga. There are those who still now say, "Ni mano group jo mago jo WhatsApp man Nairobi," and that's how it's known. Can we do this? And I believe ni 100 shillings of Munyatamo Jokojunga Churo as a registration. My view, include every Jakojunga who can find who has got a WhatsApp, enlist them. And as you once you have enlisted Jokojunga, they are going to do progressive registration. I look at it this way. At one time we had got Patrick Obadi, we had got Jojo Kwani, we had got so many members. Out of from nowhere, somebody expanded their names. Then now in Kuridong Chairman Kokidimanyogini Bana Guru Koni. Just do this. It's not going to cost us anything. Get everybody on board, let them get the information, let them understand the reason why we have to register. Any members, what Mokama registration, this money is going for the registration of this and registration of that. So we needed the money for doing this registration. Once they've all understood, our work will be so easy. There'll be no issue. But this thing of you want people to walk in to register, it's still going to find a little bit, it's going to be a little bit tricky. Let us try to reach a 600 number. Remember, ni Sanijo Kojunga more register. Actually, they're not more than 200. They're around 50 or so. Magijo ma wangiwa gomnie kama not even residing in Jimolwalo. Okay, and so enlist everybody that you can access the WhatsApp. Once I've done that, this is now going to be a forum for publicity. They will also explain to other people. Once they have joined, please always remind them, register, register, register. They will register. I don't think they will refuse. But as long as they're locked out, they will not register. And this is where now we also now, because for us to do all these things, we need money. If you've got a lesser number of people, you cannot get the money. Let's go for a bigger number that is going to make everybody's work easier. Just include them, they will register. That I believe so. But excluding them, to me, no. So that is as far as I'm concerned about the registration of the members. That is progressive. Add everybody, Majoko Junga, as it were. They will register. And the shillings of Nyata Majoko Junga, Modugo.
Okay, so what we do, I think let's take a very quick break so that we look at the questions that members are posing, so that when you return, you can take some of those questions as well. So we just take a short break to have a look at that. Is that okay, John? Are you able to see the questions that members are posing, especially on the group? From where you are you able to see the question?
Yes, I'm ready to receive the questions.
You've received the questions. Yeah, it would be important to also take some of them, take as many of them as possible as you go ahead.
Okay. Hello.
Yes. Have you seen the questions? Just pick them. Pick them randomly. If you're seeing them, just pick them and answer them.
Okay.
You can sample a few, or you can answer as many of them as you can. But I think what you can do. Why don't we do this? Why don't we get Fred to pick some of them so that you can. Or how do you want to go about it?
Hello. Already, once they've given me the questions, I'll just write down and then answer them.
Okay, fine. That's fantastic. That's okay.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. So you've read the questions.
Yes, Jacob. Podo kayo
Yes. Oh, I thought you were looking. I thought you were looking. Let me just get Fred so that he can coordinate that part. Let's just take a short break, just a very brief break.
A short break. Okay.
Yeah, I think. Okay. We can continue. John, we can continue.
Again, we put itu penjo.
Okay, sawa. Wami.
Poda itu penjo.
So, John, we can return. We can continue. So I think there's this issue coming up, or somebody is mentioning it about effect of fluoride. Are you conversant with that? Is there a problem like that within the community?
Yeah, you know what's happening is this, There are those issues like there are those issues like fluoride. Of course, it's like in Naivasha, we have got issue of the fluoride. This one, which of course is coming up, one way of noticing if there's a fluoride, that kind of a challenge. I don't think anybody that today I can say lack your top as a result of the fluoride. So I may not, I'm not in a position of dealing with it, but if it happens to be so, then there are better ways of improving water, which has got some fluoride. But I don't think we have got that big problem in Jimodwalo. It could be salty. The fact that it's salty does not mean that it has got fluoride. There's so many areas in this country where there's so many parts in this country.
Okay, that's fine. I think we'll need to follow it up offline because I'm also just seeing it now. We'll need to follow it up offline and see what is the issue. So I think for Ben Ogutu, we will have to just pack that, and then we will find more about it before we can come back with a way forward on that. And then so what are your thoughts generally on accountability? How do you think that is going to affect our journey on this? Did you hear my question?
Okay, now accountability, it works like this. I go to pump water 20,000 liters, the full capacity of the tank. Before we pump another water, we have got a clear program, P Maka Japonji Olembo, Ibedo, from Sachiel to Sadek. That is the kind of the money that is going to be collected. That they will collect the money there. Between those times. We must have specific times when this water is being collected. Then the guy moves to kiosk 2, where of course, but at the end of the day, this guy pumped 20,000 liters. Of course, this is now 1,000 jerrycans. If we agree a jerrycan is 2 shillings, then we should expect between 1,800 to 1,000 shillings. Remember, there will always be that kind of spillage of water. That one will happen every point, and you can never pump the entire water from the tank. So, of course, there's a range of the money that we'd expect. If we pump 20,000 liters, then it's a question of how much this guy is going to get us, because this is somebody who's employed. He has to remain accountable. This guy has to get us, if it's 2 shillings per jerrycan, out of the 20,000 that was pumped, we expect 1,600 shillings on the minimum. So you find that an employee will now, because he remains accountable, he pumped how much? I pumped 20,000 liters with the tank. Now, is the one with the key. Kamia and we will give the people. Even our people, as long as there's everybody knows that we don't need to play around with this water, it will be all right for all of us. So we can account for them if there's a distinct point where this water is being collected at specific times. That is it. Those who will have come up will be given the water. You can even alternate the days depending on the situations. And it's possible to be accountable, because this is not something that is going to run throughout. It just runs the stock. You have got how much? You have about 20,000 liters. This is what I'm distributing. By the time I finish up, this gets in the 1,600 shillings. There will be no issue in terms of accountability, according to me.
I think that's fine. That's fine. So there was this one area that I still believe you haven't touched very well. How to pull together without people thinking that if I wake up and I put my proposal on something, I want it implemented the next day in the morning. I need you to touch on that area. It's very important, because it is going to determine how we will be able to pull together without some people feeling that their ideas are not being taken on board. What are your feelings on that?
Of course, that is very important, because this is one of the areas that have always brought us problems, whereby people give random suggestions, opinions, and we lack the patience both parties. Whoever is giving it and whoever is receiving it. This is a serious weakness that we have as Jokojunga. To school there. And so let us formulate ways of giving ideas and opinions, and also remember any idea, for people need to absorb the idea and synthesize. Let us not be a society or a group of people because I've had incidences like 3 or so before, whereby somebody is typing, before even the message more typing or land, there's already a response. Jokojunga have to now separate the person from the opinion. Jokojunga tackle ngato as per that person, or get tackle the idea, which means this guy did not even understand what this person wanted, or what this person was saying. This is one weakness that now the office has to now deal with it. If there's anybody with an idea, I think now you guys have to, that person has to inbox the office. Once the office is inboxed, the office now must find a better way of putting to the people so that they understand. So this is the only way you're going to separate people from their opinions and their ideas. But immediately I write as John Oremo, I get an opinion. People start treating me as John Oremo, not the idea I put across. Remember, this society ma gidil kolji kakain. Kichalo nga mageni kidogo juluori. Kibedo nga ma wale kidogo jinyalo nyori. So this is one thing that the office has now to deal with it, that if there's opinion, let us get where to put all the opinions. So the office now fine-tune those ideas and put before the wall. But this direct issue, this direct way of putting the wall, and then it's subject to attack is what now makes even better ideas disappear. So it's up to the office now to create a situation whereby all the opinions and ideas be inboxed. Even if the Secretary General, this is what opinion is all about. Then the office at the end of the day will say, there's a member, the members are of this opinion and what have you. It will not, we'll be able to separate the person and from his idea. But as long as somebody just walk into the wall and put something is subject to attack because people are attacking that person's character. Ingeni ngama wachni ngama jakuo. Kubiro kuwacho kata wach mar injili. Nobody is going to understand it because we are looking at his character. Nobody is going to talk about what he said. People just know Majaku. So already, even what he's preaching is nobody wants to care. Nobody cares. Even if it tells the disciples of Jesus, so as long as nobody wants you to listen to those ones, it's already wrong. So let us separate ideas of the people. So the office, just the way I always say, if I've got an opinion which I feel the office needs to know and the Jokojunga needs to know, it is not hard. I'll just inbox the chairman its office, they'll find a better way of putting the other one in the wall so that people separate the people and their ideas. Nikech jomoko nigi issues, iyudo ka ng'ato nigi issue gi wadi, magima ng'ano wacho no gino should not work. So just that is my stand on, and our people have to be very patient. By the way, we have got this a serious weakness. Makaponi, whatever that you say, it doesn't matter. That is it. So, chairman and your office, please just work on this. How people can get to inbox you guys and put before Jokojunga. We may not, nobody will know whoever said it. We take it as ideas it is, and people will now be discussing soberly. Remember, Jokojunga so far, nobody has got an issue with the office. Take advantage of the situation now that there's nobody with an issue with the office. So you do office seriously. So it's the office now to see how to improve the communication amongst Jokojunga. That is my take on it.
Okay. And that's very clear. Let me see if anybody has any question. I'm not seeing any question for the time being. So there was just still on that that area. The still on the area of cohesion, of working together and respecting everybody's opinion. I still would like to hear your thoughts on how we can be how we can ensure that the clanism does not affect the issues that we do. That it doesn't matter if you are kain jaka nyaila kuso kain jaka ono. How do we deal with that the clanism that sometimes rears its ugly head in some of our activities? What are your thoughts on that? Or do you think it's a problem? If you don't think it's a problem, that's okay.
According to me, it's easy for the clanism. I think this is, we have to now go back. What started all these things? At one time, in fact, you trace where these are people used to live in one home state. How they separated, which of course the present generation need to go back because there's very little they can do about it, but there's very little they can do to improve it. One, and I've got three things which can kill this thing. One, that these things which bring people together. And Joa Liel is one thing, let us have, if there's a funeral in every home today, it doesn't matter which corner, let us have one point of collection of money in funeral. Let us pay, when we're going to kill it slowly, just the way you have been doing before, this currently you find any country del Camoro, Choco Pesa, it doesn't matter Otimore Kanyaila, Otimore Kanyakech, Otimore Kaono. This is the spirit that is going to kill. One of the ways of killing this clanism. Let us just develop a structure whereby everybody is going to give his money towards the funeral. As long as there's this thing, because if there's one thing, tell them development, they have got issues with it. Tell them about the funeral, they'll give the money. One way of doing it, please let us have one way of contributing towards funeral. It doesn't matter not American. Let us just develop a structure. Of course, it's currently even happening. Even the people in the world, Malcolm, we are still able to care this thing. Let us have one pool of collecting money for any funeral, Makojunga. Let us not have Kejo Kangani Choko, Kejo Kangani Choko Kachacha. That's one way of killing it. Two, Nyithima Kawiligi Ulwalo. We must find of how to make these children grow together. Because ingeni Sancho Makawili, Kawili Chalo Gimogin part of Yokulwalo. And even in fact, you can even see now, anytime we're talking about rural secondary school, you'll find Nijoma area Makawili, people are very passive about it. They're not active, they look like the outsiders. So let us find a way of making sure Oluwalo School, Togika Willi, operates as a family by doing sports together, by doing exams together, and even in Nokapukadagidi meant to go to Maragenka. Ulualuki needs to be like playing amongst themselves. You know, let us not have a scenario where Yokawidi Chalogi Magin Kabo, in fact, if you don't look at them very well, more or less they don't look like Jojimo. So please let us improve the two schools, whereby the children are going to grow together. They go to know each other. During our time, Mukane Poknika, we didn't know Pogo de Bulualo, Tika Kaneji, Nintire, Majo Moko in an Hotel, and we were together. If you look at those who learned long ago, they know they love each other. You look at Yamanoso Moka Capito Pado, Yaman and Pinkuju. If you talk, because they used to be together. So one way of killing this thing, let Wili Gulualo interact more so that they know each other and they will treat each other as brothers and sisters. But as long as they're doing things separately, this thing will still not end soon. So the third one is the celebration. Let us celebrate our people. Ingeni celebrating. I think we have got the first PhD in the Jimodwal, I think, if I'm not wrong. But nobody knows. Those are things worth celebrating. But wow, so let us also know celebrations also bring people together. Just the way Christmas did together. This is one way of bringing Jokojunga together. Let us have one universal celebration. Immediately, these people will be celebrating together. They are grieving together. They are working together. You are going to kill this barrier. So I've got three ways of killing it, and also even if you're not going to kill it completely, but you subdue it to some extent. Celebrations together. If you people feel that every year Jokojunga have to celebrate, please, these days will come and we'll treat each other as brothers. Kajokojunga are grieving, please let us grieve together. Kajokojunga somo, please be somo together. So this is one way of killing this issue of Kiajokanyaila, Kiakanyakej, and what have you. Because remember, those who preach these things very well, Ginjodongo. But this young generation now, they don't know. And that's why I find that it was easy for Kojunga to pick up, because the young generation, these details of Kenya Kech and what they don't know. So they have got an opportunity now to say, okay, this is hogwash. This thing is no longer working for us. This is what's working for us. I want you to understand this way. A funeral might cost somebody like 200,000. If today somebody, a family will be bereaved, will look a lot of money. They almost give almost half of that money. If anybody will find anybody, these people, they will learn from others and will just be one unit, and you'll kill this thing of clanism kapisa. You'll never have it again. If you must do things together. They know each other as they're growing. That is my take on that.
Okay, I am not seeing any question, which means that our people are okay. I think you have covered everything. On education, you covered Oluwalo, but there was education about generally, other than the focus on Oluwalo. Maybe a few comments there before we can, before your closing remarks. Education that is not other than the focus that we've had of Oluwalo Secondary, where we are having children report tomorrow for Form 1, the ones that we are sponsoring.
Okay. Back to the issue of the education. Of course, this was I tackled about the expansion of Lord Secondary School. I think this education was agenda five.
Yes.
Now, when it comes to education, I feel that office should come up with a clear blueprint on handling these matters of education more lualo. Remember, it's not just education people going to university alone. Anytime majority more timo bench one got those who don't go to university, those who need to go to tertiary schools, and of course they also have the primary. So it's the office to develop a clear blueprint on how to deal with the issue of education comprehensively over Lualo, whereby you will tackle about the infrastructure or how to develop the infrastructure both in primary and secondary school. Because this is not something that education is a complex thing. So it involves a lot of issues. It involves infrastructure, it involves the education, the classwork itself, it involves external support, and what have you. So it's the office to develop, and more so you develop a clear roadmap on how you're going to tackle education at all levels. Because it's not something that today you're going to give a solution one touch. No, it's a very comprehensive thing. Go develop a clear blueprint on how you want it done and how it should be executed, because it involves a lot of things. So we cannot just talk at each other to talk today, then think that's enough. No, it's you to come up again to Jokojunga and tell Jokojunga, this is my blueprint. This is what I want us to achieve. We want to have 2 classes also this year. Next year, this is what we want. Jokojunga will chip in and get to know exactly this is the executive officer have said, we want 2 classes this year. Next year, this is what they want. That is how you're going to deal with it. When you think about him of Form 4, those who happen not to go to university, this is your clear program. Remember, there was some, even last year, there was a struggle where we wanted students to go to do these technical courses. It will become a problem. But the same way, you think so this is something that the office has to deal with. Remember, the government is now sponsoring students. But if you ask someone today how many students have benefited out of that, you find there are very few. While these students were with them. So I still refer this one to the office, develop a clear blueprint on how you want to deal with the issue of education, both primary, secondary, tertiary level. This is not something that you do in one touch. We are waiting for you and the office. Come up and tell us this is what you guys plan to achieve in the next 2 years. We'll give you the support. So that is my take. Because if you don't do that, then there will be no results. Come up with the blueprint with the expected results. We are going to support you.
Okay. There's a question here, but I think this is for us. That Great Kojunga sponsored Nithinda D. Target. I think that's not for you. That I will take. Target 1 then 30, and we have raised sufficient funds. So we will see tomorrow when they're reporting. We will see tomorrow how many will report, and then we will have a review and see how successful that program has been. So let's wait from tomorrow. Maybe not all of them will come tomorrow. From tomorrow up to the end of the week, and we can have a review. I think that answers that question. So, John, just one last one on creation of employment for our people. Now that you've spoken about our people who popularly call themselves machine operators, that area of creating employment, what are your thoughts there of creating employment for our people within the community?
Okay, employment is good for everybody because without employment, we cannot sustain ourselves. Now, my take is like this: we are going to approach employment from different perspectives. The first local perspective that I have is that employment that can be provided at the village level? Yes, there are several employment opportunities on the ground right now. There's just one thing, there are a few things which are missing, which I believe the office can work towards fixing them. We don't need a market, which of course is something which should be given a priority. You don't expect even the business to do well when you place yourself, there's no market. Remember, up to now, Joa have to all go the way to Papunditi, Katito, wherever that they want. It is time that Jim Oluwalo, we have got a very good market for ourselves, Of course, this will provide some for opportunities for those who wish to do business. That is also employment. And two, we need to fix the issue of the power. Immediately fix the issue of the power. Of course, we have the negative market that we have. Then we'll be having those who will be able to do some businesses and some work like welding and what have you, workshop. There are other things which we are able to come up once we have established the market. Of course, that's one way of creating employment. Let us
John, we have lost you.
Sorry for interruption. Now,
You can take
I've
that
been of
again.
strong opinion.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I've been of strong opinion that we need a market at this stage. And I've always observed that we only have one strategic place, Jumodwalo, where we can have a market. This market will provide employment to our people, and we also will be able to do other things. For those who have been very keen on studying about the industries in China and even India, you'll find that what we call the cottages. There's local industries. Remember, if today I want to create employment, Jimolwalo, that those kind of things that our people are able to do, they don't have to go to Nairobi to do them. If only they are, if only they were interested. Ne, Joma loso katamana watch just the shoes. Like now, so anything to this school, you find Joma getting loso mana watch kende magiloso. This thing you don't have to travel to Nairobi to go and make shoes. You can be non-manufacturing, just a small manufacturing hub, whereby these guys are just making shoes. And Jibiru to Wara or wherever. These are things out of the kind of the jobs that our people are able to do. When people talk about the cottages, that those small things our people are able to do, and they just earn a living. Remember, Ningama also watch it. They also like now we think about this school. Everybody needs leather shoes. Leather shoes, men and women go towards it, but most of them, il also Juakali. These are some of the things that our people can do. Look at this way. You and me, when you go to Nairobi, no Karamana ports, Agulu Kende, Nairobi, Agulu, Maga, some of the things our people are able to do. You don't have to go to Nairobi to make Agulu, but you can make Agulu Jimolola and store it in Nairobi. So that if it comes to employment opportunities, they are there 1,001. For those who are doing farming, the Jomatimu poultry in the most organized way, this is employment. Let us do the farming is more organized. This guy is employed. This person is employed. So when it comes to employment is there, but there's the will. Do you have the information how to do things? This is some of the things which are lacking. So we cannot say that there's no employment. In fact, it's a small population. These guys, all of them can get occupied. But our people have grown to be lazy. Nobody even wants to know how something are done. So when it comes to employment, opportunities are there. But our people don't know how to seize the opportunities. They're never even interested. Call them, even tell them, don't train how to do the poultry. They will not even come. So the office still has more work to do to encourage our people and let our people know that opportunities are Korgwe. The opportunities, you don't have to chase them in Nairobi, you don't have to chase them in Kisumu. They are there even in the crowd. So let us chase the power, let us chase the market. Opportunities are there. So that is my take on employment. I don't think the jobs are there, but we don't get lazy, we don't get information, we don't want to work hard, we always want to sleep and want to go to Kibera. That's the problem that we have.
Thank you. I think we have done this topic some justice. So since I'm not seeing any questions from the members, we have been here for a little over just about 1.5 hours. And I think for the first one, we will end it there. We will come next week with the next one. So for now, I'd like us to call it a night. And thank you for all of you who tuned in and those who participated by asking questions and also sharing their suggestions. Engineer John Oremo, thank you for taking your time and giving us what you think about this. Thank you very much. We will. I think our next one should be a review on how we have done with the Form 1 admissions. So probably the best person to do that for us maybe will be the BOM chairman. I'll see if we can find him after 1 week so that we see how the admissions went. For now, I think we end it there. Unless, John Oremo, you have some closing comments, then we can end it.
Aduka Kamano. Of course, the first interview had to have its own challenges. But Jokojunga, let's pull together. It's good for us to do the right thing always, because that's the right thing that you can do. This is an opportunity for us to pull together. Let us put more effort. Let us give the office the support they need. Let us not politics so much. Let us act, because this is the best thing that you can always do. If God gives you opportunity to do something today, please always do. Don't wait tomorrow, because tomorrow might not be there for you. So at any given time, let us just act in good faith and let us always be very positive. That is my take, Dr.
Thank you, John Oremo, Irokamano, Kum Kausani, and we end it. Have a good night, everyone. Have a good night, engineer.